Hey, I'm Decathlon Hamer. Welcome back to PCM21. It's Stage Racer, and this is episode number 80. We are on stage 15 of the Giro d'Italia. After a terrible start to this race, in which our team time trial cost us significant amounts of time, and then we had a couple of struggles in the early stages, we found ourselves nearly 4 minutes behind. And despite then week 2 of the tour involving multiple really poor race day condition draws, including a draw that was a -5 compared to the expected, we still managed to recover gobs of time and now find ourselves in second place. But nearby to us, Pogacar, who lost 5 minutes and dropped out of the top 10 but is back into the top 10, it is Hagens Bernal, who has been the great threat to this race for us. He leads. He is a minute 49 clear, and he has looked so dangerous on each and every stage. The couple of times that we've been in better condition, he has still looked the strongest. Now, his attributes are just insane, even compared to ours. He has better resistance. He has much better stamina. He has 85 mountain, I think, or 84. Either way, same or slightly better. But he also has a hill rating of similar, about an 83, 84. The one area that we are stronger, actually two. Sorry, there are two areas that we are stronger. One, recovery. Two, time trial. There is one time trial left in this race, but it is a mountain time trial, which means your time trial rating will be less important. Peloton already down to just 113, now 110 riders and counting. And my 3 riders that have generally been here for me, the 3 better climbers, are all that is left. Dombrowski is not doing so well. It looks like there's a good chance he will be dropped because there's still 12K to go on this climb. And while it eases off near the top, and it definitely flattens out a bit at its peak, I don't see Dombrowski being left. I don't see Goossens being left at this point, and I'll be lucky to still have Foss in the final stages. In fact, there is a little gap that has opened just now. Please, oh please, wait 1 second. Soler is there. Palmer, Bauman, Grosscharter, Mataway, Hitters. Okay, it's breakaway guys still. Not too worried about that group. Not too worried about them at all. Today I have finally gotten a decent race day condition. Now, my expected Dombrowski has recovered. Wow. We really sat up. It's like we did not want to bring that breakaway back in. Well, anyway, they're already attacking and they have energy left. Otherwise, I was going to be tempted. I was tempted there for a moment to accelerate because we are third in the King of the Mountains classification. And there's definitely some points on offer right there. But no, there's not a lot of descending to do here, but I'll obviously get back on par. Foss is good. Goossens, Dombrowski survived the climb with just 57 riders left, so that is good that they are still there. They will recover, and we'll have 3 helpers to set us up for the final double climb. That descent, I don't think, is going to be enough to recover. It'll be enough to lower the heart rate, at least. But then we'll get right back into climbing, so it won't make much of a difference, as that heart rate should shoot right back up. Okay, we just got water. We have 70k to go, though, so I do need to intentionally send somebody like Goossens one additional time while we approach maybe that sprint point somewhere around here. Should be a good time to get water one final time for this stage. Otherwise, they'll want to wait until that double climb, and that would not go terribly well, I don't suspect. So we had almost caught that front 10. They split in half and now have a 3-minute gap to the front group. So we have really sat up quite a bit. Chasers behind, not that far off, but they're split up. They're small groups, but I would much rather not see them recovering. 51k to go, a good time to get that water, especially while we're still descending for a little while. The first group has latched on. We're up to 69 riders now. And Goossens, I want you to get on my wheel. Foss, I want you to get on my wheel. How are we looking? 81, 78, 80. Let's switch this up. Let's get you here. Let's get you out of that mix, and you can take over protection duty, please. Goosens, thank you. And let those guys ride my wheel for a while, because that's the only way you can do that with the Pro Cyclist mode. So let me adjust myself here. Okay. 69 riders. The gap behind is too big. Those guys are not coming back. So we did get one group back on, but this will be it as we enter our double climb here. So we have 12K for the first one. 7% average gradient. Max is 10.5. It's pretty consistent. The second climb is another 18 kilometers. It's the Galibier, 7% for that one as well, with a max a little bit higher and right at the finish. So late on, you definitely want to have a little something left in the tank. But we are talking about 30 kilometers worth of climbing with a small descent in between. And with 33.5K to go, we're 1K or so into the climb. So that was about 35K, and we said 30K of climbing. So that's a 5-kilometer descent and not very steep. So it's, like I said, it's only going to be enough to lower heart rates. For now, we want to stay in position as fresh as possible. We're seeing our first acceleration. Somebody trying to make a move very early on in this thing.
The peloton has significantly increased its speed.
Acceleration by Martinez.
Speed up to just a 79 here. Sliding back a little faster than I would like to at this point. Foss and Dombrowski hanging on. Goosens is starting to fade. And that gap to the front group is definitely thinning out a little bit, and they are getting split up, so we are catching them one by one. The front end is holding us off a little bit, but that back four anyway are all but caught down to the last guy there. Back off again, 78. And here comes the next acceleration. Ciccone, Gaudu, Martinez. These are guys on the outside back edge of the top 10 trying to attack. It's forcing Ineos to do the chasing. Down to 40 riders. Goosens is done, so let's take Dombrowski now. Let's put Foss here, and then Dombrowski, your turn. We are hitting the top of the first climb already, so that went pretty quick. But Carapaz, Bernal, Ciccone, are they chasing it down, or are they clear? They are clear. They are clear, so we need to switch up our tactic here as we go into the remainder of what's left. As we sit second place, nobody's going to be able to chase it down but us. Nobody's going to want to chase it down but us. Means we're going to have to chase it down. Dombrowski, we have this little descent, so I'm going to use Dombrowski for the descent. Let those guys get their 20 seconds. It's okay. Why is Vlasov chasing? You're chasing your own teammate. You're chasing your own teammate. Now he sits up, realizing what is going on, and Dombrowski now leads the chase. But it is a 48-second gap. Dombrowski, just push as hard as you can to the base of the climb, and then we'll have Foss take over. After coming forward, he's only lost 4 seconds, so that's not a big deal. 5 seconds. Okay, now we begin the climb. Yeah, this is 18K. This is a lot of climbing left to do, so we're not going to push too hard here. Fortunato tries to attack off of the group, but he's not going to succeed on that. And the gap is coming down pretty quickly here with Foss moving along. He's nearly brought it back together. And we've split the group up. No, not the whole group, just Dombrowski. Dombrowski, the only one going out the back. We've almost got contact here. And it's back together. Foss to the front. But he's going to go easy. I'd rather have him just sit on, actually, and me sit on, and put the onus back on Bernal to control this thing. Vlasov goes to the front. Use his team. Foss giving protection. My heart rate nice and low at the moment. This was the easier part of the climb. This was this sector right here. So we caught up here, eased off through here. They've taken over. I don't know why I'm so far. Okay, that's why I'm so far back. Ineos train at the front. 29 riders. Front group. Gap opening again, slowly. Ineos not pushing very hard right now, but that's keeping Foss around longer, and my heart rate is staying nice and low. Nobody's recovering through this. That's a key thing here, is there's no recovery happening. This is about maintaining, and you gotta believe that some of these guys anyway are struggling, like Foss is struggling. Is that an attack from Pogacar? It's an attack from Pogacar. Ineos is the one who needs to respond to this, and they are. And Foss is going to begin fading because of that response. Here comes a few breakaway riders. 6.8k. Not time to gel yet. Not time to accelerate yet. Ineos. Come on, Landa. Come on, you're letting him get away, guys. You're letting him get away. We're down to 19, by the way, and that's including the 3 we just added. And you see my 82 was blinking red there for a little bit, and I'm starting to get tired. So for now, we're definitely hanging on. Grossschartner was the leader on the road. It is now Pogacar. He is still up there, and the group continues to thin, down to 17. 5k. 5k to go. This is the top, is the steepest section. We've caught the front 2 and dropped, had dropped a lot of riders. We're at 19 at the moment as guys have latched back on. 4.4k. Steepest is the top. Don't have a ton of energy, so we're saving ourselves here for late, but I think I'm gonna have a go before too long here. We have the ability to use sneak, and I want to do it. We're gonna click sneak, and we're going to attack. Looks like Pogacar is trying to go clear as well. And we have gone clear. 2.8k. I cannot climb too fast here, though. 2k to go. 17 seconds ahead. 9 chasers. 18 seconds. 19 seconds. 1.7k. Uh-oh. Running out of energy just before the top here. 99. 22 seconds ahead. I think they're going to come back at me. There goes Bernal. There's Vlasov. There's Pogacar. Didn't quite have enough energy to get to the top. Bernal wins another stage. I do get 4th, though. Still a good stage. Pogacar gaining. Vlasov and Pogacar gaining small amounts of time. No big deal. Bernal gains time again, though. He has just been so tough. That was our best chance at having a go. We took the chance, and it worked out for the most part. I mean, we put a gap over the rest of the group, but just not strong enough. Not enough stamina resistance, even with a good race day condition. Bernal just much too strong, and of course they all get that added bonus on top of it. And yeah, we just could not quite maintain that effort to the end. Got inside that last kilometer, but ran out of energy and faded, and they came on pretty hard, pretty fast. Vlasov is a lot closer than I thought he was in the standings. He's just 3:02 behind on the podium now. Pogacar is 4:18 behind. I sit at 2.5 minutes behind Bernal. The 4 of us all have very, very high ratings, and then they all have that bonus on top of it. It's just making it really, really, really hard to beat that group. The best climbers occupy the top 4 spots. I know better than any of them, especially when you add in the bonuses, and I'm just having a really, really tough time beating these guys. Pogacar's had one bad day. That has cost him the lead and dropped him to the back end of the group, and it's got us a couple minutes above him, but it's just so hard to gain on these guys. They can have a bad day and lose time themselves. That seems to be about all that we can manage on them at the time being. Kamna also just behind Pogacar in 5th. Paulus Higuita, Moss, Almeida, and Ciccone round out the top 10. Now, those gaps that we had before, where I was saying about 6 minutes, was just about the cutoff on being in contention. it's getting more realistic now that Dumoulin at 10 minutes behind, no way is he left in contention. Martinez at 8:16 has been spending time in the break, so he could absolutely get back into contention. All it takes is a few minutes and he's suddenly right around the top 5. Kustanov, same thing. Ciccone, somebody who loves to attack, and one of these times, could easily gain a minute. That's your cutoff edge right now, is somewhere around 10th to 12th place on whether they still have any sort of chance of getting up into a podium place, especially when, the podium is at 3 minutes down. So really, realistically, cut 3 minutes off of all of this, and, you're looking at just 5 minutes behind. And remember, we were 4 minutes behind, so we've covered a good amount of gap ourselves. I did this once before. I'm going to do it a second time. We're going to take our chances here. This is not a stage that's going to see the field split up if we play it out. It's just a waste of time. So we're going to take our chances on the quick sim. No time changes at the top. Pogacar's up there. Let's hope I get in there. Foss does. 22 seconds behind. Boy, have I seen this one before. I'm going to be right at the tail end of this group, theoretically, and I am. So I lose 22 seconds. But who all have I lost 22 seconds to? Bernal, he gains 4 additional seconds on top of that, so I'm losing essentially a half minute here. Pogacar as well, so that's going to hurt our position just a little bit. We drop back ever so slightly now. 3:02 behind. 3:06 to Vlasov, so only 4 seconds. Pogacar just over a minute behind us. Kamna, no changes in the top 10, just myself losing 20 seconds. Whose wild idea was it to call stage 17 a punchy stage? This is even worse than the last one. It's one short climb. Most sprinters can either survive that climb or, with team support, latch back on and still be involved in a sprint finish. This is a 99% sprint finish, and it's highly unrealistic to call this a punchy stage. Here we go again. Watch me lose another 30 seconds. That's how this game treats you, the player, when you quick sim. Bernal wins the stage. Really? Ahead of Higuita. Bernal's won like 5 stages now, 4 stages, or been the first one to finish with a couple sprinters ahead of him. No time lost today, at least, other than the 10 seconds to Bernal, so I'm 3:12 behind. At least we didn't lose time this time. Finishes as a sprint stage, but stages 18, 19, and 20 comprise 3 final mountain stages. This one, though, stage 18, is the last individual time trial of this tour. This is our greatest chance to gain time. However, as we set off, I only have a +2 race day condition, but at least it's a +2. At least it's an even draw, as we've had so many negatives here in the second week of this tour. But because this is almost entirely a mountain climb, the time trial advantage is gone. It's non-existent. And as for judging how much, I think it's going to be about a 82, 83 is my estimate on what it's going to take to get to the top of this one. We went out of the box at an 86 to get up to speed quickly. I'm going to try this 82 for a little while and see how it does. I thought I was doing an 82, showing an 83, so going a little harder than maybe is possible. It does flatten out just a little bit here after the time check before you then climb on to the finish. So that sector is one place we're going to gain a little back, but 82 is definitely digging a little too deep. So we're going to back off to even just an 80 for now. I'd rather see us have a little bit left at the end than run out of energy and lose an absolute ton of time. So backing off to that 80 should help us see this thing through. It is a just shy of 20 kilometer time trial mountain almost the whole way. Based on that, you should be able to push about an 84 to an 86 if it were flat. But because we're climbing, that obviously digs deeper, uses up energy more quickly, and that 80, I think, was still actually going a little too deep. So I'm going to back off a little more. Civikov puts in a solid time at 40:40. Ineos with a 1-2-3 at the moment. They are so strong, so hard to beat here in this year's race. Okay, first time check. 6th place, 45 seconds down, and yet I do not have the energy to spare here at all. In fact, I don't think I'm going to be able to go as hard as I'm going. I think I'm going to have to back off even more because we're getting through this flatter sector, and we have not gone neutral at all yet. Yes, we are catching Leonard Kamna, but I have to back off here for the finish. Down to a 75 on the effort to try to get to the top of this thing. 7th at the first checkpoint, which means Bernal has gone faster at the first check, and I'm having to back off. Yellow bar is definitely not going to make it to the end. I'm now down to a 74. We are absolutely catching somebody there, as Kamna has passed them. Who is that? That is Vlasov. Vlasov going backwards fast. Yellow bar is almost up, and I have 2K to go. We are dipping into that red bar now, and it's got to try to hang on for another 1.5K. Enric Mas just went to the top of the time charts. 1K to go, and I have less energy left than I need to get to the top. This is worrying. This is really worrying, and we're running out of energy now. 600 meters to go, just going 99. I'm going to lose a little time here. Vlasov's out of energy already. This was really hard. I can't believe how... Oh, it's number 1 for now. Pogacar is 14 seconds behind, but here comes Bernal. Wow, I just won the stage. I won the stage. Okay, wow, okay. Whew, I really thought, based on being 7th, and having to back off quite a bit more meant that I was going to really struggle on this one. We ran out of energy with 600 meters to go. I thought for sure that I was going to be outside of the top 10. We got the stage win. We got the stage win. That's our first win of this year's Giro. It's been such a struggle with the likes of Bernal and Vlasov and Pogacar, but we've cut back a little bit of time. Now at 2:28. But it's the little 20 seconds here, 30 seconds here that Bernal continues to get, plus that 2 minutes we lost in the time trial at the start, the team time trial at the start of this race, that has made this so incredibly difficult a challenge this year. We do gain some time today, but I just don't know how we can gain time over these next couple of stages. I think honestly our best hope at this point is to hang on to 2nd place. I do not think we will be able to catch Bernal unless he, like Pogacar a handful of stages ago, has a really bad day. But he has seemed to have had excellent race day condition every last day of this tour. 8 minutes clear of the young rider classification. That one is comfortable. Well in the KOM competition, but not at the top. With the breakaway riders gaining significant chunks of points, it's always hard to keep up with them as they've opened the gap as opposed to it coming down. As a team, we are 7th, 36 minutes down. And that's with Foss about 12th overall, 13th overall, or at least he was. Ineos 25 minutes clear. They are just so ridiculously strong. They have 4, 5, 6 riders at the end of every stage, and then Bernal, who's just been crazy good. And here's a quick look at the 2 stages that remain. We'll get into those in our next episode, but we have a Cat 1 in All's Cat and a big finishing climb as well. So a triple climb, 138 kilometers. Stage 19 will absolutely demolish some riders. There's going to be some huge gaps on stage 19. Let's hope we get a good race day condition draw, a +3 or better, +2 minimum. Otherwise, we could absolutely be one of those riders who loses a huge chunk of time, especially without the strong team support. When we've had it, it's really helped us. But this is going to be a really hard stage. We'll definitely show it in its entirety. Same with stage 20, or at least pick up from here, as we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 climbs, or a double at the end anyway, that are going to be super intense. The first descent is not going to allow much recovery, and that's a lengthy climb. I'm surprised that's not an Allscat. This will allow for recovery, but how small will the peloton be by that point? This could be a difficult section. I'm hoping that I still have 2 to 3 teammates left through here, because if I'm solo, that's going to waste some energy before we then hit the climb, and that's going to be hard as well. If we are solo by here, we're going to be in trouble on stage 20. If I still have 3 teammates, we'll burn through them on that climb and then largely be alone for the finale here. But you would suspect by that point others will be in the same boat, except of course Bernal with the strongest team around, and that's not going to allow for any recovery, just a lowering of heart rate. This, you're going to see some guys trying to attack and go clear. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be high tempo. It's going to drain energy fast. So how much is going to be left for the end? Stage 20, I don't see the gaps being massive unless the peloton is down to like 20 riders already by the top of this climb. If we still have 60 or more, then the finale is going to be just seconds separating the top climbers. Stage 19, though, expect potentially huge gaps. 21's flat, so no concerns there. But wow, yeah, 2 big stages still ahead of us, depending on how that race day condition is. If I can get a good draw, which we have not had. We had one. We had a +4 a while back, but if we can have a +4 on one of those 2 stages, or a +5, and get that good draw finally to balance out these really poor draws that we've had this last week plus. Not every day's been poor, but we've had just a single +3 over this stretch. It's been tough. And we've hung in there, but I think our threats are more behind us than we are a threat to the man in front of us in Bernal. It looks like I could just about trigger a fitness peak. I could, but as we are already into the start stage 19, if I trigger it now, it's not going to kick in. It would kick in for stage 20. I'm not going to kick it in for one stage, especially when I don't think we're going to challenge Bernal. Therefore, I'm going to wait. It's going to wait those few days, and those few days are going to push it into at least giving me the 28 days, and that's going to get us into the tour at least. If I trigger it now, it's going to end right before the tour. Having this crazy schedule where we have very, very few team members is costing us so much this season, not only in the lack of team support, not only in the extreme fatigue that everybody's going to have at the end of the season where we're going to have no support, but also in what it does to my fitness peak, what it does to my schedule. My calendar is crazy. I'm managing the fitness side of it because you have an element of control, but the fitness peaks are totally out of whack now, and they're not going to get any better. It's going to be all messed up for the Giro. It's going to be all messed up for the Tour. If I'm lucky, I can get it set for La Vuelta. But at this stage, it's not looking so good. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.